Hello, welcome to Art Friends. My name is Kylie Wickham. So, you've just got some art equipment, you've got your watercolours, you've got your paper, you've got your brush, and you can't wait to get going, and you just want to begin. So let's begin. Let's start with just playing with the equipment that we have and discovering how to use it. So in this lesson, we're just going to look at our watercolours and we're going to experiment and play. So please join me and let's play with our watercolours. So what do I need to get started? I have some paper. This is just A3 cartridge. I have a palette. Now with the palettes you can use several things. Sometimes I use a sheet of glass from an old frame, or I use an ice cream lid, although it's better if it's white, or if you have a piece of glass you put white paper underneath, because the reason being you'll see your colours better. And I have a couple of brushes, I have 2 pots of water, my watercolours and a water spray. And I'm ready to get started. So the first thing I want to do is activate my colours, and they're watercolours so they need water. So to activate your colours you can either just spray them with a spray. If you don't have a water spray, that's not a problem. You just take your brush and drop a little bit of water on each colour. And that just helps get them started. Now, you can work wet on wet, or you can work wet on dry, or you can have dry paint and then make it wet. So let's start with doing those things. So this is going to be my wet side. So one layer wets the page, and the second layer makes it more wet. So let's try 2 or 3 layers of water, make it nice and wet. On the left side here, it's nice and dry. I'm going to start with some cool colours, so my blues and my greens, and I'm going to take a green directly from the palette and just gently rub with some water into that green and drop a bit of water on the wet side. And you can see wet on wet the paint expands. If I do it on the dry side, I've just made a dot. Exactly the same. So 1, it expands, 2, it just makes a little dot. So it's completely different. But if I take that dot and then I spray it, it will expand. So I might do a line. Now, you don't have to use the colour directly from your tablets. You can mix them. So you may take some of that same green, I pop that in the palette with a bit of water, and you might want to make it darker, so I'm going to add a bit of blue. So now I've completely changed that green, and I can put it on the wet, or I can add it to the wet green that I already have. I might even want to give it a flick. Now if I take that green again, and I put it here, and I want to make it brighter or lighter, then I would take one of my yellows and add it. And I've changed the colour again. So what I'd like you to do for a few minutes is just play with the water and play with your colours and just fill your page with marks. Let's go. Okay, so you can play and play and play, and that's really good to do and really fun. The other thing you can do is sort of make a colour chart, and this gets you used to all the colours. So this is another quite simple thing. Take your watercolour, have a nice clean brush, especially with the lighter colours, and you might start with the yellow and just paint the yellow. And what we want to do is have one end darker, and as we go down, we go lighter. And how we go lighter or more transparent is easily done by adding more water. And this gives you a nice tonal scale. And then you work your way to the next colour. Add water. And the next colour. If the colour isn't moving, add a bit of water. If you ever get your watercolour and the brush does not move, it's because you haven't got enough water. And by doing this gives you a real chance to play and experiment. And I'll do one more from here. So now I've got all my beautiful colours, and now I can sort of destroy the page, or not destroy it, add to it, play with it by adding some of the colours to the other colours. So what happens if I take the green, this green here, and I go into that yellow? What happens if I take this green and go into this blue here? What happens if I add the bright yellow into the blue? And you might even want to take the yellow, add it into the red, and even go down and see what happens. And you can mix your colours back through your page this way. I'll take my blue and I might add it up to this bright orange, go through the red and go through the purple, take my blue all the way down. I think that's enough to get you started. So explore all your colours, overlap them, use water, make them put more water, less water, overlap your colours, mix the colours together, mix them in the palette, mix them on the paper. Play with your wet and wet, play with your wet on dry, play with your water sprayer, drop colours in, do lines, make marks, do dabs, do flicks. Play and play with your watercolours, and most importantly, always have fun. Enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you in some of the lessons.